Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round one of the Only Hands GR86 from Watkins, Glen. I'm James Parfitt. I'm going to be joined in the booth by Mr. Alex Goldschmidt here this evening. We've got two races lined up for you. We've got a 20-minute race and then closely followed by a 25-minute with an inverted top 12. This is obviously a pre-run from Sunday. Obviously, Sunday was there. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it, but we will bring it to you tonight. That does mean, unfortunately, though, guys, there will be no replays during the broadcast. Unfortunately, we cannot do that because it will just completely mess everything up. But we're looking forward to this one here this evening as well. Let's bring Mr. Alex Goldschmidt into the booth. Alex, welcome in. How are you?
Good evening, JP. Good evening, everybody. Yeah, glad to be alongside with you. It seems like we're like the two blokes from the Muppets, Waldorf and Statler of this network, don't we?
Tied at the hip, dear sir. Tied at the hip there
Oh,
as well.
tied at the apex. Tied
Yeah.
at the apex.
That also works as well. We are just coming towards the end of qualifying. You can see at this moment in time on the left-hand side, we do have Pro and Pro-Ams here. There was talk of Ams, but I didn't get any Ams into a class, so it's just Pro and Pro-Ams. You can see Rick Wishon leading the Pros at the moment. With also Jack DeGrand, who's leading the Pro-Ams. It's going to be a very, very interesting one here indeed for these guys to contend with. Believe it or not, this is still a 2:06-minute lap time for these GR86s as well. They're not the most speediest cars here, Alex, but I tell you what, I bet this is going to be a banger.
It normally is here at Watkins, Glen, as the qualifying session has come to an end. We will have a bit of a warm-up before they get going again. Yeah, I mean, Watkins, Glen, for these GR86 Cup cars, it is going to be a case of just seeing how well they handle. And that's where, the beauty of these One Make Series, leagues that we run here, that we broadcast here, just can be absolute door bangers. And here's the grid for everyone to see.
Yeah, Rick Wishon's going to lead the way with Sean Atkinson in second and Cam Fredericks in third. Lee Martin in fourth, then Ryan Dudley, then Jack DeGrand leading the Pro-Ams. Simon McPhee, Adrian Hadfield, Dan Wareham, Egov Sotero, Dan Foster and John Johnson further down in 12th. Then behind that will be Terry Atkinson, Joseph Lopez, Curtis Matthews, Matt Benson, got to ignore the second account of Curtis Matthews. He is triangling out some live RCing, so that will be interesting next week when we come into this one to see how this one works out. But it is Rick Wishon on pole position at this moment in time. We're not going to have very long to wait here, guys, so be aware. Hold on to your hats because race one will be green very, very shortly. And then we will be up and running for the first race here of this evening before we go into the second race as well. Don't forget, top 12 reverse will be there for the second race, ready to go. So hold on to your hats as everybody getting onto the grid. Just a couple more now, ready, sitting and waiting before we can get this going. And then we will be on and running. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hold on to your hats, watch for the smoke, because I can tell you one thing, we are going to be green very, very shortly. I'm hoping they're going to advance this next 15 seconds because I can see the reason why they're stuck on that grid, and it has something to do with that bottom individual at this moment in time. So we're just waiting there as well before we can get the lights going up and ready to go. The engines are revving. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, we are going to be green now. Off we go. Rick Wishon, Shane Atkinson got off the line with Cameron Fredericks. Lee Martin sat in second place here as they're heading down into turn number one. There's all the guys there. Who's going to be able to come out on top? It is Rick Wishon, Sean Atkinson, Cam Fredericks. Is there any dramas in behind them? No, at this moment. Joseph Lopez is the last one running. But here up through the S's, who's going to be able to keep these cars under control? Because as we normally see, cold tyres leading through the S's doesn't go well. But at the moment, Rick Wishon leading the way as we get onto that backstretch.
Yeah, Ryan Dudley made a good start, got past Lee Martin. Daniel Wareham has made up 2 places from 9th and currently on 7th. Adrian Hadfield now takes the lead ahead of Jake DeGrand as they go into the inner loop for the first time. Cameron Frederick going a little bit towards the outside. You can see the suspension jumping up and down on these road-based One Make Series cars, but that is Adam Hadfield, who was leading, and he's out. He's hit the barrier hard off of the inner loop. And here goes Simon McPhee through on Dan Forster, I believe.
Yeah,
we run aboard with the 214.
Yeah, they made a little bit of an inroad there. Adrian Hadfield going off the side of the circuit, unfortunately for him, but Simon McPhee still sitting in there, 7th at this moment in time. Through toe they go, coming into Hill at the moment. Leader of the Pro-Ams, believe it or not, it's a Scotsman himself, Mr. John Johnson, or Northern Ireland. I can't actually remember where he's from. He's from one of them, somewhere other than that, and he's got a very strong accent. I was talking to him the other day on the phone, actually, and it was a very, very interesting conversation as well. So John leading the Pro-Ams currently. Ryan Dudley in with Sean. He's side by side with Cam Fredericks. Fredericks has just gone through at this moment in time, pushed Dudley down to 4th. Great start for some here, Alex, but not a good start for others. Oh, especially that in the background.
There. Oh, dearie me. That was coming out of the heel and then into the next left-hander. Terry Atkinson has ended up at the back of that, and I think just ahead of him, Curtis Matthews. We're involved in a right 2 and 8. Here comes Lee Martin from Turtle Speed Racing. He's got Daniel Wareham looking possibly to the inside of him through at the final left, the final right-hander, as we will go across the start-finish straight to complete what has been a very, very crazy opening lap. Atkinson and Hatfield now in the pits. Jake DeGrom gets through on John Johnson. Johnson in the meantime for the Pro-Am lead, and there they are. DeGrom round the outside, kept it pinned through the S's. Johnston has now got the slipstream down the back straight. It's a long run in these GR86 Cup cars, but Johnston, don't try and chance it through the inner loop. You might want to wait and count your chickens before they hatch before going through the outer loop. And Johnston has a nice little bit of just making sure he got through that inner loop rather quickly.
Yeah, he's got Benson in front with Jack DeGrand in front of that as well. There are 2 cars currently in front of John Johnson, and one of them is the leader here as well with Jack DeGrand up front. No, it's getting very, very tight. Dan Wareham sitting in behind Lee Martin, Dudley, Fredericks, Atkinson, Sean Atkinson and Rick Wishon. They're going at each other consistently here as well. Dan Wareham at the back end of this with Simon McPhee tucked in behind him. Nobody's really going anywhere. You can see this kind of almost DRS train of these guys going through the second to last corner, or turn 8, I believe it is, currently, before we go into turn 9 and run on the outside. Is he going to be able to get it here? Cam Fredericks, Sean Atkinson side by side.
Yeah, Frederick trying to go in on the inside line. Atkinson to the outside. Dudley goes off the circuit as well. Nearly 3 abreast going into the final right-hander. That you said this was going to be a banger. It's going to be an absolute corker. Look at this, 2x2, Noah's Ark style. Hurrah, they go. Frederick nips ahead of Atkinson. And then that's Wareham trying to get the slipstream into the 90 here at the right-hander at turn 1, but loses that time. And who's that coming up the inside? Was that Simon McPhee? I think it was. Yeah, up from 5th place. Great bit of tacticians work there by the 214, Simon McPhee. And he's running in 5th, so he's going to get a quadruple toe up the hill through the S's and onto the back stretch. Here they go. Look at that. You cannot pick them apart at the minute, as it is all guns blazing. 3, nearly 4 wide down the back stretch into the inner loop. This is going to get a bit hairy now. Into the inside. Wishon stays ahead. Frederick and that was Frederick and Atkinson, I believe. They both go off the circuit. Oh, that was close.
Yeah, Wareham was trying to come around the outside of the outer loop here before we go down into shoot. They got a little bit argy-bargy. They got almost 2 and 3 wide, and they managed to back out here. Lee Martin has also come and joined the party. Dan Foster's not too far back either. They're pulling people in from behind. All of this fighting here with Ryan Dudley leading the pack with Cam Frederick, Sean Atkinson, has made this man just kind of escape up the road, Alex. Rick Wisham just basically deserted everybody and has done a runner.
Yeah, he's 2 seconds up the road from Ryan Dudley, whereas Frederick, Wareham, McPhee, Atkinson, look at this, 3 wide again. And this is going into the heel of the boot. That is not where you want to be, piggy in the middle and get squeezed. from the outside and the inside at the same time. They all managed to circumnavigate it, but it's just incredibly close. You put people in the same car and you will get some of this great racing that we're seeing here. Running aboard on the roof cam with the 373 Simtex, Daniel Wareham right up the rear of Cameron Frederick in the 302 as they go through into the final right-hander, and now it's going to be the run down the start-finish stretch across the line and into the 90. Wareham's starting to pull out of the slipstream a little bit early, but is he going to dive to the inside of Frederick? Decides discretion is the better part of valor, and he's going to wait. And now he gets a real good run, runs a little bit wide coming out of the 90, now through into the S's, up the inside. Frederick is not going to be able to defend against this as Wareham is through.
Yeah, Wareham goes through there, running up the hill at the moment, in through the S's. Fredericks is going to come back at him. They're going to be side by side. This effect that we talk about all the time is the front person of the pack escapes because the others are fighting. This is what's happened. Wisham's escaped. Dudley's escaping. But it's going to be about who's going to get escaped next. Is it going to be Wareham? Is it going to be Fredericks? Is it going to be Atkinson? McPhee's in behind there. Lee Martin's in behind there. They're all very nose to tail. Oh, there's a big old slide there as well.
That was Cameron Frederick.
Oh, he's just hit the barrier.
Oh my goodness me. That's Code Brown clean up on aisle 3 for that man.
Yeah, he had a slide. He almost held it. And then it kicked back the other way. It was like a bucking bronco for a brief moment here. And unfortunately for him, he just couldn't quite keep control. But that's leaving Atkinson. McPhee battling it out through the right-hander of toe on their run down into heel at the moment. They're going to be almost 2 and 3 wide again. Are we going to be 3 wide? No. There's a big old nose chop from Simon McPhee to stop Lee Martin coming through. He knows he can't lead him anymore. Dan Wareham's escaping away from the pack at the moment. These guys are still fighting, but that seems to be the continuation of how it works. The guy at the front escapes, the next lot fight, and vice versa, and so it's happening here as well.
It's kind of that paradigm shift effect that this circuit has. You get one that scarpers into the distance. I mean, Rick Wisham's now 1.6 seconds ahead of Ryan Dudley. Daniel Wareham is now a further 2.4 seconds back in third. Sean Atkinson a further 1.4 seconds back as well. And then you've got Atkinson, McPhee, Forster, Martin, Benson, DeGrand. They're all within a second of each other, maybe even 8/10. So that is where the cluster is now starting to form here at the circuit. Sean Atkinson has got Simon McPhee right up his rear trumpet, going up the hill through the S's. And McPhee's going to get the toe here, but keep your eyes on the car behind, the 300 of Dan Forster. He's going to get a double slipstream. Simon McPhee's rear end was sort of tail wagging the dog. McPhee's trying to put it to the outside. His 2 wheels on the grass. Atkinson says no. Forster says, thank you very much, sunshine. I'll take that every single day to the bank.
Yeah, absolutely. Atkinson managed to hold on there as well, but Forster in behind McPhee and behind that Martin. Benson's joining the pack now, and Jack the Grand is also not too far away, the Pro-Am leader here. They're pulling people in, whether or not Ego Sotiro or Joseph Lopez will get onto the back of these. I'm not entirely sure they are, 5.6 seconds back. But Lee Martin is getting onto the back of this. Matt Benson is getting into the back of this. And Sean Atkinson at this moment in time is defending for his absolute life if he can hold on from Foster here. Is he going to be able to stop these guys getting through? It looks like Foster's going to have the inside down into the hill at the moment. Foster's on the left, Atkinson green and white on the right hand side. Foster's going to get through. Atkinson can carry some speed. He can run it wide on that corner if he wants to, but he's tightened it up. He's coming into the left hander now. Is he still going to be able to hold on? They're still running side by side, Alex, and this has been half the lap already.
Yeah, and well, Atkinson gets I think just got ahead. Well, no, has now been passed by an audacious move by Forster. Forster kept it pinned round the outside, carried the momentum through, gave no quarter, and thereby Atkinson had to go, well, you know what, I'll settle for this at the moment. But folks, we've still got just under half of this race remaining. Anything can play out. McPhee looking to challenge Atkinson. Martin, well, it's Benson was sticking his nose out to say to Lee Martin, hang on sunshine, don't forget I'm here behind you. And here we are on board with Atkinson. McPhee again right on his rear wing and back bumper. And this is going to be very, very close up through the S's onto the back straightaway. We go on board with the 214 Simon McPhee. He's got the run here. And Atkinson pulls the left-hand side. Now the side draft starts engaging. It's going to be nip and tuck. They're hot. McPhee's half a car length alongside, but has to go early on the brakes to avoid any kind of contact between the pair. Negotiates the inner loop rather nicely, and now he can start teeing things up again as they go down the hill from the outer loop through the chute and into the boot itself.
Yeah, coming now very, very shortly into the chute left-hander. Evening horse, how are you? Simon McPhee is there with Shane Atkinson. Foster's a little bit further up. We've got Benson and Martin closing right on our tailpipes at this moment in time here. There are Benson, there is Martin right behind us. Jack de Grand's 1.3 behind him. You just see him over the two cars. I don't know why I'm pointing, because you can't see what I'm pointing at, but he is just there currently at this moment in time. There he is in the background. But Simon McPhee in with Sean Atkinson. Foster can't escape. Benson can't get involved fully. And Martin also is struggling here at the same time. But it's still this 5-car fight. And look at the Grand in the background in the orange and blue. It's going to make it a 6-car. And it's just one after the other. They come in, one joins, one leaves. One joins, one leaves.
It's like to me, to you. Now, obviously making reference to James when he said, yeah, well, you can't see where I'm pointing. We do use our body language when we get animated under commentary, folks. So please excuse us for that small modicum of what we like to do when we're pointing at stuff. And it is a reference point for us, let's not forget. So, but in the way of this battle, I mean, it is absolutely brilliant, because Atkinson is bringing the train along, because who's not too far in front? 6.5 tenths ahead. I spy with my little eye the number 300 of Dan Forster.
Yeah, we're going to be closing in here as well. I'm doing good. How about yourself? I'm all right. I think Alex is all right. We both probably had our normal busy days there, sir. And now we're sitting here talking about GR86 racing at Watkins Glen. And now we've got Shane Atkinson with McPhee, who's just there. You just saw the poke of him on the left-hand side of your screen there. He was literally alongside us. But the problem for McPhee now is, look who's he brought in behind him. Benson's closed right back up due to the fact that he was having a go at Atkinson. Atkinson is kind of like almost the cork in the champagne bottle here. He's not allowing McPhee to get through. But at the same time, he's bringing Benson and Martin and de Grand into it.
It's always that problem where you find these little pockets of battling, and it's just something that you cannot divert your eyes away from, and that's exactly what we're having at the moment here, as Benson really starting to close in on McPhee. Then you've got Martin, and look, Jake de Grand is not that far behind, down to the inside, right at Benson. Oh, nearly got the job done there on Simon McPhee, but McPhee had that presence of mind. Just keep that throttle exactly where it was. Don't lift off, don't brake, don't give Benson an inch, because he'll take a country mile here at the Glen. But yeah, Jake de Grand now 3 tenths behind. Well, no, it's Martin that's 3 tenths behind Benson. Jake de Grand now back in the Pro-Am lead, and has been since the drama for Adrian Hadfield, who has retired, I think, after just over 5 and a bit laps. So here goes Simon McPhee on Sean Atkinson into the 90. The nose dips down on the 214. He's going to dive to the inside. 2 wheels in the air under curbing. And here, of all people, comes Matt Benson round the outside into the S's on Simon McPhee. Benson now up to 6th. He got the job done on Martin. He then got the job done high, wide and handsome round the outside of Simon McPhee. That was inspired from the man from Valhalla Motorsports in the 369. Yeah,
McPhee went for the overtake, didn't get it done. Benson decided, well, I will instead. And he did that as well. Now Benson's coming after Atkinson. Atkinson here is just, he can't quite catch Foster but he can't get away from Benson either. Benson's bringing McPhee. Martin, de Grand's now here. We're all back to 6 again. The next group are about 10 seconds back, so it's highly unlikely we're going to get any more joiners to this party. But at the moment, to be blatantly honest, do you want any more joiners in this party as well? Because to be honest with you, any more? Any more?
Yeah, Benson is the dark horse in this this trade. Is he again? Oh, he had a little bit of a swap of paint with Sean Atkinson. And now it's going to be, he's going to switch to the outside.
Oh!
He's going to, you know what? Matt Benson, I have to say, some inspired racing in the last few minutes. I mean, we're 3.5 minutes to go. And Matt Benson is just bringing a show here to the Glen. Like, as I said, got rid of Martin, got rid of McPhee, did McPhee round the outside of the S's, whilst, let's say, folks, going uphill at full throttle, and you're changing gear, not easy to do here at the Glen. But more to the point, it's going to be the run down to the 90, and if Benson gets to run on Atkinson here, he's only a car length, maybe 2 car lengths behind. He's going to get a real good run into the S's through the 90. As now through into the curbing.
Oh, he's got to
run
run
a little bit wide. Benson's got him. Benson is now going to have to fight him because Atkinson is now is having some real pressure. Here goes Benson again. Look at this. He's wheel to wheel with him. He's to the outside. But this is going to compromise Benson's run. Atkinson noses ahead. McPhee in the slipstream.
No.
He's switching to the outside. It's nearly 3 wide into the inner loop. Who's going to be the bravest on the brakes? I think it's going to be Atkinson. McPhee dives to the inside. And still Benson keeps the position. Incredible.
Now the problem is McPhee's trying so hard. He's bringing Martin on board. He is literally having a go with Martin. Every time McPhee tries to go forward, Martin brings it back in and just gives him a little reminder. It says, hold on, son. If you're going to keep doing that, I'm going to have you. And at the moment, McPhee is under great pressure. But poor old Atkinson, he is defended harder than a Jose Mourinho football team. Or if you want to be more up to date, Tottenham Hotspur in the Europa final against Man United. Atkinson has had to defend here. He has had to defend, and he's still got Benson wrapped in. Look at Martin. Martin's still having a go at McPhee. De Grand's sitting there going, to be honest, boys, I don't really need to go anywhere there as well. I'm leading the pro-ams.
Was there a slight touch there between Martin and McPhee as switch round from Benson dives up the inside of Atkinson? Oh, beautiful move. Beautiful move. Yeah. 369, Matt Benson, take a bow.
Yeah. He literally dummied him going into turn 9 there as well. And he literally just went one side, Sean went one side, Benson went, gotcha. And he just literally went straight up the other side of him. Took that position away. Absolutely stunning racing from Matt Benson here. Sean Atkinson, Simon McPhee. Now is Benson going to escape? Is it going to be Benson and Foster escaping? Is Atkinson got to defend again? Is here once more with McPhee. McPhee's alongside, already going up through the S's here. Sean Atkinson, green and white. McPhee in a multicoloured rainbow. He's going to be tucking him right in behind him. Is he going to get too close? He doesn't want to come out too early. Don't come out too early because it's not going to work. He's pulled out. He's trying to go alongside. Atkinson's put the squeeze on. Watch Martin. Martin's going to try and send it 3 wide as he going into the right hand. Atkinson comes out on top. Oh, there was!
Martin's in the barriers. You know what? Jake de Grand, well thought, young sir. Well thought. As now we've got Sotiro and Lopez. This is for second in the pro category. And let's not forget, timer has struck 0. We are on the final lap with this race. And Rick Wishart at the moment is holding on to a comfortable lead ahead of Ryan Dudley of about 1.2 seconds. There is Ryan Dudley flashing the high beams at the 374 in the wonderfully appropriated team name Team 8-Bit. And it's got the OGRL livery on the side of it. But Rick Wishart has done exactly what he's needed to do. Scarpered away whilst everyone else was squabbling for the scraps over the Sunday roast dinner table. And he's going to come out squeaky clean on this one.
Well, He's got 2 more corners to go here. Surely this is not going to go wrong for Wickwisham. He can get this across the line. He's got no problems whatsoever. They're still going a little bit further back here. Wisham's going to come over the line. He's going to take the victory in race number 1. He does do the victory. Dudley second. Wareham's going to come over in third. Foster and Benson, I think it's going to be Foster's going to get there. Benson in behind, Atkinson in behind that, and Jack de Grand wraps up the Pro-Am win here. Stellar job from Jake there. An amazing job from him. Joseph Lopez is going to end up on the podium, but he's going to be behind Satiro. Satiro's going to come over the line and take that second place at the Pro-Ams. Lopez is going to grab third. Behind that is Cam Fredericks, John Johnson, and Curtis Matthews, with Terry Atkinson, who we haven't seen really much of, who's a long way around the racetrack. He's still got about half a lap to go. What a race there as well. It was an absolutely barnstorm out there. That was a shame. It was great racing. Connor, it was. But we had a funny feeling it was coming because Martin was always sticking his nose up alongside McPhee there. We had a rough idea it was going to come, Alex, but it just wasn't quite there. And then all of a sudden, like a Chinese New Year fireworks, it went absolutely bang.
Well, it went more than bang. It went bang multiple times. You know, it's just one of those things that this is what I love about it when it's a one-make series where everyone is in the same equipment, the same car, you're all on the same even keel, and that's what makes it so exciting because you never know what you're going to expect. And here at the Glen, it was a complete, like you said, it was going to be a cracker. It was a Chinese firecracker that literally exploded several times during the race, let's not forget, as Terry Atkinson slides his way through the second from last corner here at the Glen. But I mean, what can you say? It just, if that was the appetizer, wait for the main course in a few minutes' time, folks. That's all I'll say.
Terry Atkinson's going to go over the line, and we will be able to bring you up the results very, very shortly here from race number 1. So, ladies and gentlemen, after that absolute terrific battle, it was Rick Wisham who took the win in first place in the pros. Then Ryan Dudley and Dan Wareham round out the 1, 2, 3 as we go into warm-up. Dan Foster in fourth, then Matt Benson and Sean Atkinson. Jack de Grand taking the win in 7th place in Pro-Ams, and Simon McPhee and Lee Martin. Ego Soterio and Joseph Lopez in 10th and 11th. More importantly, Cam Fredericks will be leading the way on pole position for race number 2. So just go 12, 11, 10, and you've got first, second, third all the way back. Count back on that. John Johnson, Curtis Matthews, Terry Atkinson, and Adrian Hadfield. Now, we do want to give you a quick talk about Only Hands, guys. This season's sponsor. Only Hands' mission is to create a level starting grid for sim racers with disabilities requiring adaptive controls. Their initiative aims to establish a community for sim racers and real-world drivers across various motorsport disciplines. The initiative includes a YouTube channel and Discord server for sharing videos, pictures, and stories about adaptive controls. The channel and server will also offer tailored coaching for drivers using adaptive controls. The goal is to obtain a non-profit status to cover costs of shipping different types of controls and hold charity races and fundraising events. Discord down in the description below. I will also post it here as well, that you can go and check it out there. That is Only Hands, who's come on board as a sponsor here. So well done for them one on that. Right. Race number 1 was an absolute banger. Race number 2, after this short warm-up period, 25 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Alex, what are we going to have?
More of the same, I think, JP. But you'll have some people charging forward, like Rick Wisham, who led from lights out to checkered flag, pretty straightforward. But it's going to be the melee in the middle where we're really going to be, I think, concentrating our focus on. But 25 minutes is a slightly longer race. You've got to have a slightly different sort of motorsport chess strategy towards it. You know, are you going to be a bit more risk versus reward, or are you going to time your moves a bit easier? I mean, with the Glen, it's so unpredictable, especially when you got 3 wide coming out of the S's, going onto the back straight into the inner loop. As we saw, 3 wide into the inner loop never goes. And that is clearly the case. So it's just more about this early point of the season, just getting those points on the board and be consistent with how you go about setting your laps.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed there. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a 25-minute race coming up for you. Don't forget, join myself and Mr. Kent and Sportac as we're back with BSC NASCAR Round 2 from Nashville Super Speedway. Check out the link down in the description. John did send me this one, so I'm hoping it is okay. But there might have been an error. So just bear with us as we'll keep trying to see if I can find a link here as well. Ready to go once again. So give me 2 seconds. Oh, I've got invite link.
Same here. I just tried it, but once we have once James has got the respective Discord link, we might have to. So I think invites only last for a certain amount of days on Discord before it goes invalidated. I think it's something like a week or something like that from my previous experience. But yeah, I mean, there is still going to be plenty more racing. I mean, I'm looking forward to the SAA by RDoC season finale we've got coming up this week, early Thursday UK time, and then we got Radicals on Thursday night. Still plenty of there's always some. We always have great action racing here on the JPB network. So just don't forget to do all the good things like share and subscribe and follow us on socials whilst you're at it.
Yeah, as soon as I get an updated link, I will let you know, and I will post it in there. Let me just take out that one then, if it's working. So get rid of that, but I will hopefully get a new link. I've messaged Jake as well because it's part of Jake's side of things, so hopefully we'll be able to get one before the end of the broadcast. Every link he sent me, unfortunately, valid. Well, yeah, 25 minutes race 2 should be an even better race. Absolutely, says Mr. Goldschmidt, who sat here with me.
Yeah, well, I have to say, I don't know who it was, but someone has provided me with a gift membership to JP Broadcasting. So whoever that was, thank you very much. So I don't know who it was, but I just thought I'd put it out there.
Why not? Get to use some fancy emotes as well, Mr. Goldschmidt.
Yes, I do indeed. Yes, I do indeed.
Yeah, so and there we go.
Even more worried. Well, you know what? Just because race car. Race car in chat.
There's one of the things here as well. It was the worry of trying to figure out what emotes to put in there, because obviously otherwise you try and list all the cars that you cover and you're going, never going to work. I haven't got enough emotes as well to be able to cover all like 86s, open wheelers, and everything else in the process.
God, I just realised we just said that. Or you just said that. LOL.
Yeah.
Welcome to the room, Mr. Pink.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to pick up on Mr. Fredericks, who will be on pole position. There he is for race number 2. Ego Soterio in behind him, and also Joseph Lopez. So let's see how this all goes. But hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. I will have to give the timing tower a minute to settle down here. But we are going to be up and running very, very shortly. So we'll get the race going. Hopefully by the end of this race, I would have a link for you to the Only Hands Discord. Revving of engines. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be lights out and away we go. We are green, green, green. Once more here at Watkins Glen. There is the timing tower on the left-hand side. Fredericks gets away. It's free wide in the back. McPhee, who's not afraid of taking it free wide, has done so down into turn 1 and escapes. Soterio and Lopez look like a rabbit sat in headlights at the moment. They're not really sure where to go. They've got all of these guys crawling in behind them. There's going to be a train and a half, starting with Lee Martin, Wareham, Atkinson, Foster, DeGrand in there, Dudley's in there. They're 2 by 2 already, going into the inner loop for the first time on lap number 1, and it's 2 by 2 here.
It's very much Noah's Ark style in the early stages of this race. But, oh my goodness me, look at this. Oh, this is going to be really close going into the inner loop. They just about... No, that's the Cicero's just hit the barriers. Oh, he was losing it halfway through the inner loop. And the back end just decided, well, I've had enough. I've lost traction. Here's your Alexander Wirtz moment. And bang, Cicero goes straight into the barriers head first.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there may have been a little bit of contact in behind with Lopez.
Oh, no.
Atkinson.
Oh,
He did come across the track. He did.
Pinballed, and Dan Forster has been spun around, and that is going nowhere. The back left suspension is, well, it's broken, and the wheel is cambered in, and that is going to be a crabber all the way to the pit lane, I'm afraid.
Look at that. His wheel's even pointing outside the car as well. It is broke. Ryan Dudley's in the mix with Rick Wishon, your race one winner. Jack DeGrand in there. He's just run well wide there. I'm not quite sure where you're going, mate, but you've just gone a long way, Jake. You want to be coming back the other way, but McPhee is now running side by side with Fredericks. This is for the lead of the race here as well. McPhee is going to go through. He's taken the lead. What's Fredericks going to be able to do and close in on him? Wareham's got a train coming in behind him. Martin, Dudley, Wisham, Lopez, Benson, all crawling. Curtis Matthews has got his own train of Hadfield, Johnson, Terry Atkinson, Jake DeGrand, and Foster working his way back. Sotiro's in the pit lane, Atkinson's in pit lane, and it looks like Foster might just make it back with a very broke 86.
Well, at least, that's the damage variation of instigating four-wheel steering on a car like that. But Cameron Frederick firing back on all four cylinders in the number 302 behind Simon McPhee. Down the back stretch they go. Now, where is Frederick going to plant this? He can't plant it to the outside because he'll be two wheels on the grass. He's bump drafting McPhee down the back stretch into the inner loop. Then it is Wareham, Martin, Dudley. Well, that's a bit of a shortcut there, Mr. Lee Martin, coming out of the inner loop. And I think also Dudley did exactly the same thing. Wishon is going to make it three wide as Curtis Matthews in the OGRL car has just lost the front bumper. Loving the chrome blue on that with the stars and stripes flags on the end plates of the rear wing, but that front end is anything but standard now because that bumper has gone goodbye, sweetheart, so to speak, here at the Glen. But yeah, Rick Wishon already getting on with business. He's already up to P5 and is closing in on Ryan Dudley for fourth.
Yeah, absolutely. He's making a move forward here. Currently, Lopez is in this battle. He's leading the Pro-Ams. He's got Martin in behind him and Benson. We know the charge that Benson had. Atkinson is in there with Johnson. He's trying to go through. Nope. Jake's in the background. He can't manage to get through. Oh, whoa. What was...
Hatfield and Johnson went exit. That was exit stage left, and both cars hit the barriers. Oh, dear.
You can have a look back at some of these after this race finishes, guys. The next 20 minutes here. But McPhee has got Fredericks. Wareham's closing in. Then we got 2 seconds to Dudley, who's got a 6-car train. And the last one he's got in the list here is Mr. Benson. We saw what Benson did in race number 1 coming from the back of the train here, Alex. Is he going to be able to do the same thing, do we think?
Well, you know what they say, once bitten, twice shy. I think Matt Benson has got every opportunity to get at least into, I would say, probably top 5, maybe even top 4. But there's still plenty of this race to go. If Benson can negotiate his way through this nice and calmly and not pick up any damage, then he'll have a fully fit race car to start chasing after Ryan Dudley, because Ryan Dudley is 2.2 seconds up the road from Rick Wishon. Now, because we are seeing this battling as we run on board with Cameron Frederick for the moment, who's right up the tailpipes of McPhee, Wishon here now closing in on Dudley as they go through into outer loop before they head down the hill through the chutes. Curtis Matthews has now rejoined, and so is Dan Forster after fast repairs. John Johnston still in pit lane. Sean Atkinson has returned after 2.5 minutes in the pits. But yeah, Rick Wishon's got to do something quickly about getting through on Ryan Dudley. And now this is going to be going into the toe. Wishon trying to go for the crisscross. Can't quite make it work. But he's still got time. You know, there's still 19.25 minutes to go. so anything can possibly happen. But Rick Wishon, if he can lead from lights out to checkered flag, he can fight his way through to the race win again.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what Ryan Dudley has got on the back end of that emoting. Very bizarre. Could zoom all the way.
Oh, extreme close up in the words of Wayne's World. In it to win it is what he's got on the back, and he has got an emote of a hold on, of like face.
Is that? Oh my God! He has on the back
It's,
of that car as well.
He has. It's got big eyebrows to boot.
Yeah,
it's
he
in
has.
the one that's got the cat in the headlights side of things. Meantime, the scrap at the front has become a three-way horse race at the moment. McPhee battling with Fred. God, how wide did you want to go out of that first corner? Ryan Dudley and Rick Wishon. It was like exit stage left with some velocity.
Yeah, they both carried it off track there, I can tell you that much. And Frederick still running side by side with Dan Wareham now. They're on the run down into the inner loop here. He's going to be looking at the inside at the moment, Dan Wareham. Fredericks is on the outside. Are they going to run this too wide through the inner loop? They're going to try. Fredericks backed out. Wareham gave him some muscle. Frederick said, oh, I'm not getting involved with them guns today, and he backed out. But further back, De Grand is, well, he is, oh, there he is, in behind Atkinson. He was that close to him. I couldn't really tell who was where at the moment. But McPhee looks like he's having a right little ding-dong at the front here with Wareham, with Fredericks as well. And the others are not too far back here. If this carries on, we could be ended up here with almost a 7-car fight for the lead if these guys keep bringing this gap down.
Yeah, well, the gap at one point was 2.5 seconds. It's now 1.5, as they have got a back marker in front. That is going to be John Johnston. So this could play into the hands of probably Wareham, Frederick, et al. As into the heel of the boot go the leaders, and that has allowed Cameron Frederick to try and see if he can do the old Nigel Mansell dummy on Daniel Wareham, but on that particular occasion didn't quite work for him. And now the gap, you can see Ryan Dudley, followed by Rick Wishon. Joseph Lopez, who leads Pro-Am, runs 6th overall, ahead of Matt Benson. And Lee Martin is a further 1.3 seconds back. So we're not even at the halfway point. The three at the front are battling like 3 petulant children battling over the last swing of the playground. And that's allowing Dudley, Wishon et al. To start closing in. But it depends on how hard they battle and if something goes awry. Because if it does, there will be a change of leader. But with Johnston just up the road and is about to have a lap put down on him, that could also cause problems. Wishon now gets through on Dudley, through at the S's. They are going to be literally wheel to wheel. Wishon so close to the wall on the right hand side coming out of the S's. Dudley to the outside, slots in behind. That compromises Joseph Lopez, who we also see in the Gale Beast and Clark St James GT3 League, which is now in its 7th season. Normally runs a McLaren 720S, but it's great to see them all in the same vehicle. Frederick and McPhee battling away. This is allowing Daniel Wareham to get away from them ever so slightly, but down the inside tries to go Cam Frederick on Simon McPhee. McPhee keeps the momentum round the outside, and you're probably talking about a 2-second gap between Wareham and Johnston. And look, that gap is significantly closed. There's Dudley, there's Benson, as well as Wishon. You've got Lopez in there, Martin, Atkinson is 9.2 seconds off of P8. So you've now got the top 8 drivers in this race within 3.5 seconds of each other. And folks, we've only just gone past 10 minutes out of the 25 so far.
Yeah, I want to see. These two were having a right little ding-dong a minute ago. They were swapping places backwards and forwards. Oh, De Grand and Atkinson. Atkinson goes in a little bit hot there. That should give De Grand the run out, and he has secured that place. But we're going to in with Dan Wareham again. Now, this is where the run's going to take place here. Let's see what Fredericks could do, because we've got Fredericks with Wisham In behind that, Dudley in behind that, Benson and Lopez. His first front 7 are all nose to tail. Martin's not too far back either. Couple of off tracks taken there, I can tell you that much. Fredericks now back into the front of Wisham. Is this going to be a double win for Rick Wisham? You saw a brief little flame come out of the 86. Nothing like the old McLarens had, but it was still there. Fair play for the Toyota for giving it a little bit of a blast. But Rick Wisham pushing Fredericks now. He knows that he doesn't want to lose contact with the guys in front. He knows he's got to push him along. Is he going to sit there through the inner loop? He is nearly by the barrier. Get on the power, son. This is where he can do it. You can see the move from Wareham up front. Got a little bit sideways on the gravel he went. But at the moment, these guys are not leaving each other alone here, Alex. This is literally turning into a dogfight.
Yeah, it really, really is. As Dudley's coming under fire from Benson, big time. Rick Wisham still holding on to that 4th place, but they've got to be very, very careful. Because now, that gap, whilst they have been in this train for a significant amount of time now here, James, they are forever closing that gap to John Johnston up ahead of 255, who was hard on the barriers earlier in the race. He is going to have to give way, and when you have 5 to 7 cars behind you, the first thing you do not want to do is cause a domino rally effect of an incident. And now they're going to be closing it at high speed. This is where some drivers will use the risk versus reward idea as Frederick dives up the inside of McPhee. That's open the... Oh no! Wishing in the wall! Wishing in the wall through no fault of his own.
Yeah, there was contact there with Fredericks, I think. I think that's where it all kicked off from. I think Fredericks had a little bit of a moment, and then he went into Wisham, who McPhee is there now. You can see Wareham has escaped. That brief little contact just cost him 1.4 seconds from Dan Wareham. McPhee still holding on. Fredericks still there. Dudley's still there. Benson is up as well. He's moved up places, tucked in 5th place at the moment. These guys having a right little ding-dong, and they're still fighting 2, 4, 6, 7 cars locked in. I think one of them's actually John Johnson. The back marker, is it? No, John's a little bit further back. There he is, just coming around the corner. So it is still 7, but we've still got 7 now chasing down 1, and that's imperative.
Yeah, the reason why it all started was Frederick dived up the inside of McPhee, and Wisham went to the outside. McPhee got through, and Frederick just literally lost the back. Oh no! Big wreck! Big wreck! And one of which was Dudley, one of which was McPhee. And what has that meant is that Frederick now up into 2nd. Matt Benson now runs 3rd. McPhee, well, that car ain't going anywhere anytime soon, I'm afraid. That's an instant return to garage for him and for Dudley. Oh, dearie, dearie me. And now Benson going wheel to wheel nearly. Oh, there's a little bit of contact, a little bit of a squeeze between the pair. Benson, can he throw it high, wide, round the outside? He's going to give it a go. Over on Frederick. Wisham is there in the wings, waiting to pick up the pieces. Joseph Lopez, well, the Pro-Am leader now currently runs P5. It is neck and neck between Benson and Frederick. Benson slightly ahead by a nose, but Frederick dives to the inside. Wisham sees the window of opportunity coming his way. And there's a little bit of paint swapping between them. Into the next left-hander. Frederick has got ahead of Benson. Wisham trying to go round the outside of the 369. Has that worked? Oh, it's going to be a bit of a squeeze. Left-hander coming up. Benson will have the inside line. He'll still keep a hold of 3rd for the minute, but it's going to be a right-hander coming up. Wisham and Benson exchanging more paint through the final corner. Benson to the outside. He's going to be so close to the wall. Lopez comes to the outside of the start-finish straight. It's going to be 3 abreast for P3 as we hit 10 minutes to go. Everything's kicked off. Yeah. Forget the Chinese fireworks.
Yeah, Wisham there still holding back from Benson. Lopez backed out a little bit there, but he's got Martin for company now once again. Benson and Wisham running up through the S's. You can see Fredericks a little bit further up the road. I can guarantee Wisham does not want to be trying to do this here. He just wants Benson to back off. He wants to get hold of Cam Fredericks, and he knows the only way they're going to be able to do that is not do this. But they are going to do it. They've come out the corner for round number 2, and they are swinging living bells out of each other at the moment. Wishon's got the inside. He's coming in the inner loop. Out the other side he goes. Now coming into the right-hander of outer loop. He's caught up to Fredericks, which is what Wishon really wanted to do. But now he's got to try and do something with him. He's got to try and make a decision. Is he going to go for the knockout and clear Fredericks and get after Wareham because he knows he's got the pace here? Or is he going to be ended up just sitting there, spending more time covered up, defending and cowering in the corner from the Mr. Benson, who we know is rapid anyway?
What can I say about this race? I said that this one was going to be up another level. Take it up to the infinite level of just madness on how close these drivers have been. You look at the front end of Frederick's car, it's an absolute mess. You look at Wishon, he's got a few scrapes, so is Benson. Lopez doing a stellar job. He's got Martin right behind him. I have to say, credit where credit is due to Joseph Lopez. He has kept his calm whilst everyone's lost their heads at the minute.
Yeah, he's leading the Pro-Ams. He definitely doesn't want to be losing that lead, I can tell you that much. They're coming into the final 8 minutes here. Wishon still behind Fredericks, who's got Benson for company. Wareham's not really escaping. Now, generally, when the people behind a fight and the leader does get away, if anything, it's come down. And I'm wondering if they're all utilising the draft of these 4, what's they got, 5 cars together here to push forward after Wareham. They've just pulled him in 2 tenths from 2.5 to 2.3, and we've only gone round 1 corner. What are they going to do up through the S's? Well, it really does depend on what they do, is dependent on the damage that they take out of Wareham. If they fight, which is what I think Benson's got an idea of doing here, I don't think the terminology of no retreat, no surrender is sitting in Benson's head at the moment, and he's not sitting in his head. Fredericks and Wishon working together. Benson's in there as well, but Wishon knows.
Oh my goody on!
He did it round the inside. Look at Lopez coming back at him as well.
I can't believe that. Benson again just throws. He's basically just like Thor out of the Avengers, just throwing no caution to the wind, just absolutely going for it. And who would have thought that he would have kept it side by side with Wishon through into the inner loop? Okay, yes, it was an off track, but you have to applaud the bravado, the bravery, and the cojones that Matt Benson had to pull that move off. That was not going to be easy. And now they've got the run here. Look, Lopez is definitely getting his elbows out and sharpened. They're coming up to a right-hander. Benson goes through. Oh, and a bit of understeer there, I think, from Frederick. He goes a little bit wide. Wishon to the inside. Benson's nearly piggy in the middle. Frederick comes back out on circuit in front of Benson, who's going to give him possibly a little bit of a rub here. Out of the left-hander, Wishon will try for the inside line on Benson. Frederick just ahead. And I'm sure that Joseph Lopez, yes, he might be the Pro-Am leader. He's got a 20-second advantage over his next competitor, which is now Terry Atkinson, who's got past Jake DeGrand for second in the Pro-Am class. But Benson at the minute is charging like a Brahma bull in a china shop. Yeah. Like, it does not matter. He does not give a monkeys if it's Rick Wishon or Cameron Frederick. Oh, there was contact between. That was contact with Wishon and Benson, who threw Benson into the side of Frederick whilst they turned into turn 1. And, well, Rick Wishon has lost out to Joseph Lopez. This is a direct correlation.
Yeah, but this is the thing here. You notice when you had Fredericks and Wishon together, they were working together and the gap was coming down over Wareham. It was 2.3. Now look at it. It's 3.9. 1.6 seconds got added on just because Benson wanted to come in and didn't show an ounce of patience. He just had to be patient, and this battle would have been for the lead, and he didn't show patience. He's run wide there. That's going to allow Wishon to come through. Lopez has just gone through as well, and it is all just go, go, go from Benson, and he needs to realize sometimes that if he was just a little bit more patient for a lap or so, this would have been a 6-car fight for the lead of the race. But out as it is at the moment, Wareham's 4.2 up the road. Then Fredericks is escaping now as well. And now Lopez is in 3rd place overall, leading the Pro-Ams, and is probably sitting there going, oh my God, what am I doing this time?
Or what did I just witness in front of me for me to get this high in the first place? But you know what? Sometimes it is a calm head on cool, collected shoulders. Now diving to the inside will attempt to go Matt Benson, but thinks better of it as the good old Zoomies livery looks good on a McLaren as it does on a GR86. Nice play there, Joseph. But I think it's more the case of you've got to keep your nose clean. And as I said, it's a bit of a different strategy when you've got a 25-minute race. You've got these people like Matt Benson who will go 20 tenths for every single second of every single lap of each race, and they will not give up. Whereas you'll see people like Joseph Lopez, who I don't see a scratch on that car at all. He's kept his nose clean all the way through this race. And where is he? He's leading the Pro-Ams. He's P3 on the road. We've got 3.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, and now for him as well, he's got to realise that he doesn't have to worry about what's going on in and behind him. He can let these guys go. He doesn't need to be jeopardising with Benson. He doesn't need to be jeopardising with Wisham. They want to go forward. Benson's really, Lopez really in hindsight is just happy where he is, because at the end of the day, he's on that podium. He's top step of the Pro-Ams. Does not need to do anything crazy. And I wouldn't be surprised here if Lopez backs out and allows these two to go through. And is this going to be both of them going through? Lopez, you balmy boy, don't do that. Oh, well, he did do it. And he only lost one spot to Benson. Maybe he's turned around and thought, well, I'm going to go for it. But that going for it could cost him.
Well, I think in some respects, these are battles for position on the track. Okay, yes, it's not necessarily a class position, but it will just give the pro guys just something to think about, as if to say, I'm not such a pushover as you might think I am. And that can make a big old statement from someone like Joseph Lopez, who is now running fourth. I mean, yes, he did keep on the racing line. He let Benson go through because he knew that if Benson tried to go through and tried to throw a howitzer, then Lopez would have been big time on the receiving end, as we are coming towards the end of lap number 11. But once Daniel Wareham does cross the line, we'll have the white flag lap, 1 to go. And still, it is a game of checkers between Frederick, Benson, Lopez, Wisham. Martin's now losing a little bit of time to the quartet in front of him, but Daniel Wareham is away and clear by 5.2 seconds. He did exactly what he needed to do, and now we go on to lap number 12, the white flag lap here at the Glen.
Yeah, final lap of the race. There is Barney there, and there is Wick Wisham. There's the Zoomies, the Lopez, there's Benson. And just in front of him there as well, 2 cars up, just going to see him pop out on the right-hand side. There he is, Mr. Cam Fredericks. Benson's got a nice run. Benson has got a nice run. Fredericks is off over there. Benson's should be able to tuck right in behind him here. What might have been if these guys just kind of eased up on each other and just left each other alone. Wisham, I think Lopez has just, he is. Oh no. Ooh.
Oh dear. Rick Wisham, that was a bit too close for comfort. Oh, look at the slipstream he's got. It's going to be 3 abreast for P2. And Benson gets ahead going into the inner loop. Wisham round the outside. Did he get him? He did. But look, he might lose it coming into the outer loop. Benson to the inside, Wisham to the outside. Joseph Lopez, I think, just lifting off and going, I do not want any part of this at all. As Frederick dives to the inside of Benson. Benson keeps it around the outside through the chute. Now into the toe for the last time. And our race leader is just coming out he's just about to make his run down to the boot for the final time. Benson's not done yet. He's giving Frederick a little bit of the frighteners, but lost a little bit of time coming out of that right-hander. But more to the point, Rick Wisham with a haymaker a la Muhammad Ali round the outside of the first part of the inner loop. Got through, got the buy one, get one free special.
Yeah, absolutely. He did there. A stunning job from him. Rick Wisham there just got it done. He went round the outside, got it finished off. Dan Wareham's going to come over the line for the race number 2. He is going to take 2 podiums here this evening, a third and a first. Wisham's going to come over for a first and a second. Fredericks is going to come over to take his first podium of the evening. Lopez is going to win Pro-Ams, but they're all going to come over the line really quick succession. Did Martin get Lopez? He did on the way down to the line. Lopez comes over for his win. The Grand takes second place in the Pro-Ams as well. Great job from them guys. And Mr. Terry Atkinson taking the final podium spot here. So a great job from all of them as well. Stunning race all the way through. I think we can safely say, Alex, these two races have been an absolute classics.
Well, and in the words of a very famous song lyric, you ain't seen nothing yet when it comes up to the next round of this season. Because if this is round 1, well, rounds 2 onwards, let's just say that the Chinese firecrackers will be more than likely on standby.
Absolutely. Going to be amazing. Foster's over the line. We're just going to wait for Curtis Matthews. Got Simon McPhee coming at him. I do want to have a look at what went on with Curtis Matthews, so I may go back just a little bit. A couple of things I just want to have a quick look at to see from the start of this one. But Matthews comes over the line. So does McPhee. Then it's going to be Soterio, and then Hadfield. We know both of them had their own little dramas earlier on. So we're going to go all the way back. What did I mark as one? What happened to Sean Atkinson, who had his own little drama right at the beginning of the race on lap 1. So this is some of the highlights here. This is Sean swirling there, and then unfortunately, Alex, he just went straight across the track. Bang! That was him.
And Dan Forster.
Dan Forster almost, done there pretty much. Foster limped the car back. Look, he's got almost no brakes. He literally just scrolls across the racetrack, and that's it here. Now, we did have Curtis Matthews go off the racetrack and lose half of his body, but I've got a funny feeling it may have had something to do with this here for Curtis.
Oh, because we did have the drama with John Johnston. Oh, Curtis Matthews just lost it in front and just tagged the barriers. But we did have John Johnston go off and go hard into the wall. I think it might have been with Adrian Hadfield, possibly. But it was...
there it is.
Yeah, so it was Adrian Hadfield, lost it, and John Johnston had nowhere to go in the front end of his GR86. Was completely surgically rearranged, and Adrian Hadfield had no front left suspension. But then we also had this drama here with Simon McPhee losing it.
He got a hit!
He got a hit, tagged the inside wall, and then also it was the 320, Ryan Dudley. So he's going to get a touch here. It's going to be, it looks like it's from Cameron Frederick. So let's just have a look. It's going to be the left, straight to the back, loses the back end, is a passenger, and Frederick gets clipped by the 320 of Dudley round the outside. Dudley loses his front. Bumper is hanging off by the cable ties, and then you look at Simon McPhee, and they both McPhee picked up damage because it was the right side, and the right front suspension, like literally you can see the wheel, how the suspension and the suspension arms were so badly busted that car would not be steering correctly. You could only turn it left and right via the and this is probably Curtis Matthews.
He's gonna lose
you lose it on his own, and it just it was a tank slapper, and that was another one where he's impacted the wall. But what could you say? I mean, only Hans GR86 is alive and kicking, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right, guys. That Discord will link there as well, so you can do that. I am going to stick a more permanent one into this as well. So if anybody watches this back and you have not done it, you can have a look. There is the more permanent. No, it's not. It's not working. Come on. Why are you not working? Oh, I've put it in the wrong donut. Right, there you go. That's a more permanent link to the Only Has Discord as well, who is in the chat. Jake there as well. Great job from him winning the Pro-Ams in race number 1. But that's going to wrap it up here, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be back a little bit later on for the BSC coming up now live from Nashville Super Speedway. Then you got myself and Alex on the Sports Car Association of Americas. SAA for their final round of the season. Radical Race Series from Interlagos. BWSC 4.8 hours of Le Mans on Saturday. Then we've got Interlagos' final League Zero race as well. And then we got Tanso GR86 at the same time. Not quite sure why that says League Zero when it's actually the Novice Racing League there. But there we go. We'll have a look back at that. But that's going to wrap it up for this evening, guys. I've been JP. I've been alongside Alex Goldschmidt. Take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.
Thank you.